Check us out to hear the latest on life in the volunteer state. Yvanka and her guests discuss everything from life, love, and business with a Tennessee flair.
It's a Tennessee thing!
Always relatable, always relevant, and always a good time. This is Talking Tennessee, and now your host, Yvanka.
This episode is brought to you by the Landis Team, your go-to real estate family in East Tennessee. If you are looking to buy or sell, we are the ones you should call. Give us a call at 865-660-1186 or check out our website at YvankaSellsRealEstate.com. That's Yvanka, YVONNCA, sellsrealestate.com.
Welcome back to Talking Tennessee with Yvanka. I am your host, and I am here with a dear friend named Clarence Vaughn, and welcome to Talking Tennessee.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. It's my honor.
Well, let me just say this, everybody. This is a person that I have always watched him from afar and just been admired by all the things he does in our community. And I've never seen you pat yourself on the back. I've always seen you always talk about other people and what they're doing in the community, and you always pitch in, but you are always so humble on how you move. And so to me, that just stuck out to me. So I saw Clarence at an event, and it just aligned. I was like, can you come on the podcast? And you said yes. Are you glad you came?
I'm so excited to be here, and also I think it's important to tell your story. You know, we talked about that off record, offline, because your story can motivate others, but also it's bigger than you.
It is
your
bigger than you.
It's to be told for a reason.
It is for a reason, and I tell people, you know, even in the spiritual realm, it's like a test comes with a testimony, and a testimony is not quiet.
Right.
A testimony is something that you're supposed to share to help uplift others. And I think your story is compelling, and I want to be the one to tell it. So who is Clarence Vaughn in the professional world?
So Clarence Vaughn in the professional world has worn many hats. So I started off my career in banking here in the city. Okay. So previously worked for Wells Fargo Bank, also SunTrust Bank, now Truist as a branch manager in the downtown Broadway area. Then had opportunity to work for our past mayor, Mayor O'Hara, and Madeline O'Hara was really a shero to me in regards to being a mentor. Worked under Abbas Reed for community relations, and then after that role, I served as the director for the Police Advisory Review Committee after Abbas, and did a lot of work with the community, our police department. Then Chief Roush, now Director Roush for the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. And work with many community leaders to really improve the safety of our community, but also communication and having that dialogue. From there, I came here at the University of Tennessee, where I now serve as the director for the Office of Access and Community Connections here at the Haslam College of Business, where I work to support our faculty, our staff, our students, really to do what it says, access, to be accessible to everyone here in the state, really here in the country and the globe, those seeking educational opportunities, those seeking opportunities to improve themselves when it comes to adding those credentials, or just connect with the university or the college. Also for our faculty and staff as well, we do a lot of development from a professional standpoint, supporting conferences, things of that nature. So we really have a lot of touch points. The point I love the most is community connections as well. Still being engaged with the community, right, and being an advocate for many that's out there that may not have the resources. We can provide the resources to help them reach their potential, the true potential in their goals.
So what made you want to make that career shift and come to the Haslam School of Business? What was it, a goal of yours, or was it a certain thing that happened that made you want to come?
Well, I'm a man of faith, so I'll say everything is happening not by happenstance. I mean, God puts people in your life and opportunities in your life for a reason. And I gotta, honestly, he would probably give me for this, but Dr. Tybee Small. Yes. Tybee has been almost like a big brother to me, even though we're a couple of years apart. We basically had a conversation. We talked about opportunities here at the university. He said, you should consider that. And I thought about it more because I've been blessed and fortunate to do a lot of things in this community, not for myself, to help others. I'm a servant. My mother is a retired social worker. She was a case manager for 34 years. Okay. And my dad worked for the sheriff department for 40 years, but he was a drug counselor. So I come from a servant family. Yeah. So I've always served, and I had a chance to serve from the financial side, financial literacy for our community. Had a chance to serve when it comes to community relations, which touched touches workforce development, education readiness. Then to bring that here to university, it really like it's all coming together. It's all synchronous and it's tied together because I'm able to do that for our students, faculty, staff, like I said again, but still support our community members as well. So that I prayed about it, thought about it, and gave the opportunity. I was selected as a finalist, and it was also then selected to be served as a director after Dr. Small, and it's been nothing but a reward for me to be able to give back in that capacity. We truly believe that the volunteer spirit is really something we only believe in, but we practice it and we showcase it.
So when you cut his arm, you see orange, not red.
Well, I'm a rattler. I'm a rattler down to, you see a little orange and green. You see a little orange and some green. My home is Florida A&M University.
Yes.
Proud rattler. FAMU gave me the opportunity where no university would give me the opportunity, especially the student that I was coming in. I was not prepared. But they gave me the opportunity. And also another orange and blue. I graduated from Syracuse with my master's degree, but the foundation started with Florida A&M University, which I still have a very close affiliation with today.
Well, let's go back to Clarence Vaughn, the kid, the young man, finding his way. Tell me your story. This story is compelling to me, and it sticks with me because so many young people need to hear that redemption is it's live and well. Can you please tell us that story?
Yeah, so I'm a preacher's kid. Preacher's kid on both sides. So my dad's dad was a minister. My dad was a minister. He passed about 9 years ago. My mom's dad was a minister as well. So I grew up COGIC, Church of God in Christ.
Okay.
COGIC is very, very
yes.
Strict. That's the best way I can say it. When it comes to attending and the type of attire you wear and the way that you greet one another. But I grew up in South Florida, so Fort Lauderdale, Florida, during the 80s and 90s, which was, I tell people like Atlanta times 10. They think Atlanta, like Miami back in the 80s and 90s was, just the popular place to be. It was hot. Everything was really about the Miami Beach and area.
I was in Miami a lot.
Yeah.
I was in Miami a lot.
Yeah, so it was the place to be. It was a lot of people moving in, and you also had people moving from different countries, Cuba, different places like that. But while I grew up, I mean, the biggest thing, we were trying to emulate what we saw in our community, right? So I was blessed to have role models in my family, but still being young and kind of rebellious, going against the grain, as what they say most PKs do. I had that experience where I was chasing something that wasn't me, chasing something that wasn't a role model that God set in my life. And the role models for us then were those who were driving the expensive cars, some illegally, illegal purposes,
Speak on it.
And trying to glorify that lifestyle. And for me, that was something that I know most people around me kind of just fell into. So for my high school experience, I was actually expelled from high school. So from middle school.
Go back.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Go back. You were expelled. And you're sitting on staff at the Haslam School of Business.
Yeah.
Y'all let that sink in. For anybody that thinks that they cannot make it, listen to this story.
So expelled from high school, and it wasn't for the reasons you think of, oh, you're fighting every day, oh, you're doing this. I missed 86% of the school year. I'll never forget that number because I was sitting there and they said that. My mom looked at me, I was like, I don't know how many days I missed. I just missed. So
Did your mom know you were missing?
No. So I was very, let's say, undercover secret agent with
Yeah, you got dressed.
Well, I'll say this. My high school was almost 2 blocks from the beach. So you can almost smell the beach. Well, I'm not making it excusable to anyone out there.
You're just saying, this is my story.
But it's 2 blocks from the beach. This is during the 90s where Miami and Miami music started becoming popular, the dress. So that was something that we sought out. So I would go to school, be with my friends, and we're playing our day out. Not our day about where classes we're going to go to, playing our day where we're going to. We can go to this spot. And back in that time, you had truancy officers. So we knew the truancy officer rotation, where they were. So we knew what time we can get to the beach, what time we go. So this was an everyday night. So we had it all planned.
That was a really thought out process.
So got expelled, and it hurt because my cousins came to the high school. And this was my sophomore year. So I missed again 86% of the school year. And I'll never forget. I have a printout still of it, and I should have bought it today. I had a 0.7 GPA. 0.7? I don't even know if it's possible to get to the 0.7.
Okay.
GPA. And
but you missed 86%.
Yeah, exactly. So from there, of course, parents upset, everybody upset. Everyone's like, well, he didn't end up in jail or dead. basically writing me off. My mom never did though. She said that I had a praying mother.
When people say a praying mom and praying grandmother, that's real. Praying mother. Really is. Keep going.
And she said, no matter what, you don't give up on yourself. I'm not going to give up on you, and God still has. God's going to get the final say.
Yes.
So we tried to go to schools within the county because then my parents figuring out ways. I'm high schooler, so they had to get me to school and transport me and everything else. So we couldn't go to any school. I'm from Broward County. So I couldn't go to any school in my county. I tried to go to one school.
That's where I used to hang out in Broward County.
Yeah, see?
Keep going.
So I had to go to a community center. It's called Hollandale Community Center.
Okay.
And I was fortunate to get into Hollandale Community Center. The last year, they were offering a diploma program. The year I came, the year after me, they only offered GED programs. So if I came 1 year later, or even really a couple months later, I wouldn't be sitting in front of you because I would have had a GED. So I got in the last cohort that was able to get the diploma. So you go into a classroom, and basically the teacher walks in, drops a stack, almost like a phone book, on your desk and leaves. You have to go through each of those pages. That's your curriculum and your work. You have your coursework you have to do for the whole school year, and you go page by page. And you're sitting there in your desk, never forget this.
And no one's teaching you.
You got a pregnant woman here on your right. Never forget this. Somebody came in and heard shackles. I'm like, what is this? What's going on? I turn around. Somebody with their parole officer handcuffed them to the desk and said, I'll be back here at the lunchtime to pick you up. I'll be here after school is over, and sat them right directly behind me. And I'm like, wow, where am I at? So, and again,
but it showed you what you didn't want.
Yeah, but the grace of God, so I was behind almost 2 years academically.
Okay.
So by the grace of God, I said, you know what? This is not for me. And a couple of incidents happened where I knew this is not, like I said, people chasing that lifestyle. I said, that's not me. And some people to their core, they make really terrible decisions and can't get out of it. But I had grace and mercy really in every situation I went into. I was the one that was
in favor.
That was able to, not be impacted by the environment that I was in. So worked through 2 years. I caught up in 1 year of 2 years of work to catch up and graduate from Hollandale Community Center. Of course, we didn't have a graduation ceremony. It's kind of mail you your diploma. And I'm speaking it up for the sake of time, but then I got accepted into Tallahassee Community College. I couldn't go to, my dream school was FAMU. The reason FAMU was my dream school because my father was a charter member of the 100 Black Men of Broward County. They had a program called the Black Male College Explorer Program. Okay. I always say we were like the Bebe's kids. So we would you have Upward Bound on campus. You have all the the academic students on campus. We were like the Bebe's kids. We were like the at-risk youth that were given an opportunity to go to college campus. But that changed my life.
Because a lot of times when you're going through something in life, it feels like you're the only one. No matter whatever it is, you feel like you're the only one. So keep going. Yeah,
and I mean by that too is we came from the same. We was from all different backgrounds, all different racist backgrounds, whatever have you. But we all were considered to be at risk. And to see them thrive and move into those opportunities, FAMU was my only choice. So that's why I went to Tallahassee Community College, because I was going to transfer to FAMU after 2 years. Because that was the only school that I wanted to go to. Had to start off with all remedial courses. Ended up graduating from Tallahassee Community College in honors.
I bet you that was humbling.
It was. Even you starting, because I was so far behind. Then went to Florida A&M, graduated with honors. Was able to go to Syracuse and also graduate with honors. So not to say that to pat myself, to show that. Not
it can be done.
Well, it's resilience, but also you have to also believe in yourself, have a plan, but you got to have a village around you.
You do.
That's why I say family first. And family to me is not only my blood family. I have mentors that will speak in life into me. That's why I'm really grateful for the work that I do now, because it can be one word or one conversation you have with a student or someone that can really literally talk them off the ledge from quitting, from whatever that may be, and it changes the trajectory of their lives. And that happened to me. I had many people that spoke life into me and said, you know what, no, you're capable of doing this.
And you have to surround yourself with people that are going to speak life into you. And a lot of times when you're trying to find your way, and I can speak, I come from a small town, my mom and dad got a divorce. We moved to Knoxville. I was uprooted from everything I knew to Knoxville. And you think, oh, that's just 20, 30 minutes. But that was my whole life, And so I really had to figure it out. My mom and dad was going through a divorce, but I had to figure out me and figure out what I wanted to do, And so I do agree with you is surrounding yourself with mentors and people that will speak life in you, and just put time in you. If you think about the people back when you were truly messing up, you know, they were doing the same thing you were doing. They weren't speed liking you, but you had to change your surroundings. So what was that? What did it feel like once you got to FAMU? So you finally got to the school that you wanted to be at. Did you feel like, oh, I'm here? Or did it drive you more? What was that win that you had that made you go to the next level?
It definitely drove me more for one main reason. I met the love of my life. So
Okay.
I met my wife. It's funny, freshman year. It was
What was
actually
your wife's
second.
name?
Sarita Vaughn. So I have
Sarita
Sarita
Vaughn.
Vaughn. I have 3 girls. So I always say pray for me. 15, 11, and 5. My 15-year-old is Nia. 11-year-old is Jada. And
He's got a
5-year-old is
beautiful
Zion.
wife and a beautiful family,
Yeah.
and they're very close knit. So I love that. But
Yeah.
keep going.
Yeah, so she's always been, again, it's funny because when you go away from home, especially when you go to school and you're at the university, you're really on your own. Like you got to, everything that your parents and grandparents and uncles instilled in you, you got to bring those to fruition, right?
Yes.
And they're tried in many different occasions, so you got to make sure that you stay steadfast. But she was someone that I think iron sharpens iron, you know, and having somebody there for you.
Say it one more time.
Iron sharpens iron. So we both were student leaders on campus. We both kind of sharpen each other and challenge each other in a good way to say, hey, okay, what's next? What you got going on? Hey, what we doing here? Hey, and I think that helped me a lot throughout.
Was you that person for you that said, okay, we're not doing this. You need to do this. This doesn't fit what we're trying to accomplish. And I believe when it comes to couples, I think couples need to evolve together. Because if one is not evolved, if only one is evolving, then there's resentment there.
Yeah.
You know, but if both are evolving, I think you can build so many things. And it sounds like that she was your builder. She helped you build brick by brick.
And literally saved my life.
Okay.
I had a good friend
Speak
of
on
mine who was a family member. I didn't know at the time, but we were actually related through marriage.
Okay.
And he unfortunately lost his life due to an unfortunate incident. And me and him were together like every day. I would have been in that situation with him if it not been for having my wife say, you know what, not tonight. You need to sit here.
Really?
So I'll never forget that. I mean, he unfortunately.
So basically, she intervened.
Intervened and allowed me to not be in that atmosphere in that situation. So that helped. I mean, I honestly wouldn't be here talking to you today. You know, that's another situation where you got to have the right people around you to speak life, but also sometimes say, hold on, you need to reconsider that.
And the people in your 4 walls, I truly believe, my father-in-law taught up at the University of Tennessee for 30 years. Shout out to John Landis, I love him. But the one thing that he taught me in marriage, because they've been married 60-some years, and been a great, representation of marriage and an example for good marriage. You know, not perfect, but good marriage. And one thing he taught me was your 4 walls. Your 4 walls is what matters, and you have to consider the people that's in your 4 walls. And what's outside your 4 walls can't matter as much as what's inside. And it sounds like your wife helped you to figure out your 4 walls.
Her and family. I had cousins on campus. My cousin Kevin on campus. We all looked up to my cousin Kevin. He was the first to kind of really knock down a lot of walls that we didn't. We all grew up together. So my uncles, my aunts, my mom, and that family unit. My family is very tight knit. We're Bahamian too.
Okay.
So that Bahamian blood in us, we are really tight knit. So having that and all that support help navigate situations where some people I know who don't have that support will fall in those pitfalls because they don't have that type of support.
So what would you say to young people that is wanting to be a leader, but they feel overwhelmed because half of their friends are on that path and the other half is not? What would you tell a young person that is trying to figure out and find their way in that type situation? Because it seems like you were being pulled in 2 different directions, and I would like the viewers to understand that this is what you suggest.
Well, I think you got to go back to the core. Right? For me, I went back to the core of who I truly am, who I was. You find out who you are, who your parents say you are, who your community say you are. And that's why we got to be really careful what we say to our young people, even those who may not be on the straight and narrow. Because if we can speak life, the same thing we can speak death. So I say go back to your core. Know that you're not alone, but also you're here for a purpose. Whether you're a believer or not, everybody has a purpose in life to do something to continue the work that was done before you. I never forget, Kendrick Lamar said a lyric. And he said, I am the reason the ancestors sent me.
Oh.
And when he said that, it hit me to my core, because I'm like, we're here because there's work unfinished. So I'll tell young people, there's work unfinished in your life, that your family's counting on you. You may not think people are watching, but they're watching you, and you have a purpose on your life. But dig deep into what that purpose is and find your core, and know that people are going to drive and push. You got some that's going to try to push you off the rails too, but some are going to try to keep you on the rails and give you a clear path to where you need to be. So go back to your core, stick to what your purpose is, but dig deep, as far as what you have to offer. Everybody has something to offer.
And what would you say to young people about overcoming setbacks? Because it seems like that you've had some setbacks, but you basically pivot and make sure that you didn't make the same mistake. Yeah. What would you tell young people about, hey, you're going to have some setbacks, but you got to get up and dust yourself off? What would you tell them?
I can't hear nothing about my grandma. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And
yes,
I say that because
the same thing.
You go through situations, you're like, man, I'm going to get it right the next time. Or I'm going to get it right the next time. Like, you get tired of saying that I'm going to get it right the next time, or I'm not going to do this again. Just do right. Turn. Right. It's that simple, and I always say that.
And it's okay to do right the first time.
Yeah.
I think a lot of young people don't realize that it's okay to do the right thing the first time.
Yeah.
And I do speaking engagement, and I tell people that and one young gentleman came up to me. I said that, and he goes, "I never thought of that." Mm-hmm. And I said, "It's okay to do it right the first time." I said, "You have less heartache." And he said, I just never thought about it that way. So tell me this, in your position, how do you encourage young people to celebrate their small wins?
Yes.
Because we're in a world that we see big wins, okay? And the older you get, hopefully you get wiser and all that kind of things. But as a young person, you're trying to find your way, and your win may not be as big as Clarence Vaughn is today. What would you tell a young person about celebrating their small wins?
I always say, and I say this all the time, I say small wins outweigh large victories. Because of small wins, you're learning through the process. So I share this with our students all the time. They want to go, and many want to, we go from entry level to CEO very fast. I said, that's fine if you do, but think about when situations come and you go down from CEO to the next level.
Ooh.
You don't want to drop all the way down the ladder back to where you started, unless you had small wins, almost like climbing a ladder. So
I need you to say that one more time.
Yeah.
Sometimes, go ahead.
But sometimes, in some students or some people in general want to go from entry level to CEO so fast. Mm-hmm. Or want to be the head person doing things, which is great. And that does happen at times.
It does.
But in life also, life is a pendulum shift. When it swifts the other way, you have to drop down. What steps do you have that you can walk down? If you started from 0 level to 1,000, let's say that level, you don't experience level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all the way up.
And you have to pay your dues, I think.
You have
to pay your dues, and I think timing is everything, okay? And I think that if you understand that, paying your dues is not bowing down. It's just working towards something till God says increase. When God says increase, that increase comes, and then you're going to celebrate it more. But if you never pay your dues, you're never going to be able to say, when you get in that CEO position, I earned that. Earning a position is so much greater than if it's just handed to you, because you will always wonder, should I be there?
Exactly.
Should I not be there?
Imposter syndrome and everything else.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And so tell me, when it comes to practicing habits, good habits, bad habits, what would you tell young people how to persevere through the seasons that's uncertain?
Well, I think the biggest thing is, who are you listening to? Who is in your corner? I call it my personal board of directors. So I actually talk about this on campus. These are people that you trust with your why. First, identify what your why is. You want to build positive habits to get to your why. My why in life is to be a motivation to others, shed light into dark spaces, and actually played this song at my father's funeral. They called him the lily in the valley because he was a drug counselor. He caught people in the valley, in the darkest parts of their life, and brought light to them, right? Mm-hmm. So that's my passion. What habits am I building to help me strengthen that as far as my why? So I tell young people, the habits you build is going to either make you what you are or also make you what you're not.
That is true.
So
he must know my next question, because my question is how has your family influenced your values and leadership? Would you like to add more to that?
Yeah, my family is key. It's just the reason I'm sitting here. Of course, wasn't for my mother, I wouldn't be here anyway. But my family, my moms, my uncles, my aunts, my cousins, we speak life into each other. Of course, any family they have, division every now and then, but we always come back to the middle. And for my matriarchs, my and our key, my grandfather and my grandmother, we stand and we call Nana and Dada, Francina and William Martin. They instilled in us the importance of family and making sure we have this. They were the leaders that we saw. My grandfather dropped out of middle school, I think actually elementary school. Didn't finish elementary school, but owned 2 businesses, a furniture store in Brooklyn, New York, and also a fish store down in Miami. It was probably probably the smartest person I've known in my life. I mean, he can know the Bible verbatim almost, and he just really was intelligent. And he taught my uncle accounting. And then my uncle became, and still today, a very successful accountant by working in the fish market. My grandmother took all of my mom's siblings, there's 5 of them.
He worked in the fish market and he's an accountant.
Yeah, so he did all the books, did everything
What a
else.
family you've come from.
Yes, and then her siblings, my mom's siblings worked with my grandmother and getting extra hours at the mental hospital she worked at. So they worked there as high school students and then also in college students. So we talked about, if I have, we all have, but also you have to build yourself up. I can't have you in the nest for long. You got to get out of this nest and fly.
You do.
And I'm going to equip you with what you need. So that's my leadership principle when I think about family. I'm old to pay it forward, but I got to strengthen my wings so I can make sure I carry my responsibility. I always pray that God bless me to be a blessing, but bless me so I can take care of my household. I got 3 girls, my wife. Bless me so I can feed us, clothe us, give us shelter, but also that way I can be a blessing to others as well.
So let me ask you this, and this is a new question for Talking Tennessee, because so many people go on boards, so many people go on committees, but there's a board within your personal life. If you had to pick a board to help you with your personal life, who would be the 3 people that you would say, these 3 people sit on my board, and this is who I would turn to? Name those 3 people.
So
it's probably more people, but name 3 people.
That's
Isn't that a good question?
Good question, but I actually asked that question too here, but I phrase it differently. So I say on that board, it can't be a spouse.
Okay.
It can't be a partner, and for this, I'm gonna
I
say.
understand why.
And this, I'm gonna say it can't be a family member.
Okay.
All right. So if I was to say the 3, it's tough. I'm not gonna lie, because there's so many people that's influenced, especially in this community. I think about.
If he doesn't name you, don't get mad. I'm the one telling 3.
No.
He would have did probably about 20.
I think about many. I mean, I gotta say who's my current mentor. Alvin Nance is my mentor.
Okay.
Since I've been in banking, he's been my mentor. He said, if you stay in Knoxville, you invest in the community, I invest in you. We meet regularly. Of course, my pastor, Pastor Arnold. I look at him as a spiritual father.
He's another good one.
Reverend Harold Middlebrook. It's so many people. One that's the late Tank Strickland. We would work a lot together. He taught me the ropes when it comes to MLK Commission,
he's naming legends.
The leadership support. So I could go on and on, and I don't want to forget anybody, but this community, one thing I love about Knoxville, even the late Bob Bookers, and even Avon Rollins, and many people who are true servant leaders, and they are humble about their approach, but have so much experience and things that they can bring. And all you have to do is sit up under them. And they will give you the knowledge, get you what you need, but they will call you to the table to say, hey, now you got to pay it forward to the next person.
And you got to have that.
Yeah.
So let me say this. You spoke about Dr. Tabby Smalls.
Can't forget also Mama Nichols, Miss Phyllis Nichols.
Yes.
But there's so many people. I know I'm forgetting some names.
So many people.
There's so many people. I know. That's a good question. That's a tough one.
Yes, because there are so many people that shape you if you think about it.
Avis Reed. I can keep going on and on.
Avis Reed on the podcast, and when I tell you, the spirit of her just really and truly fed my spirit. That type thing. So let me say this: you were talking about previously about Dr. Tabby Smalls and what he's done in your life and how he's been a big brother to you. Tell me, if you could say one thing that Tabby Smalls has done for you, what would it be? That really sticks out. And I'm just picking him because you said he was like a big brother to you.
Yeah. I would say opening the door for me to be here and even have my mindset to say that not only can I be here being at the University of Tennessee Haslam College of Business, but also I have something to add value. And you think about my background. right? So my background coming from high school dropout, going to a community center to get my diploma, then going to Tallahassee Community Colleges, FAMU, Syracuse, and also I'm here leading programs with the assistance of my teammates, programs that got me interested in college. Pre-collegiate programs where students come on campus like I did at FAMU, I get to turn that table back. So it's really comes full circle. So I think that he gave me the opportunity to see that opportunity as something I should thrive and strive to be. I had to, of course, apply, go through the process.
Right.
But that's probably one of the big
and
things.
You had to put the work. You had to put in the work, but
Yeah.
but he still opened the door. And the reason why I was asking you that, I'm glad that you answered it that way, because in this world, in certain positions, in certain different areas, some people feel like it can only be one person.
I think that's a great point. I mean, it can't only be one person, because I was always told, to whom much is given, much is required, and you have to pay it forward. And I'll say have to. It is you have to, because you're given an opportunity. I always remember some people say you're just keeping the seat warm for the person next to you, or after you to come into that seat and keep that seat going. So I'm just here to keep the seat warm. We have to keep the door open, because we always talk about what is the succession plan. I think in many communities, succession plans, you have people who that's the person always, and that person moves or goes different places, and that's a void for the community. We owe it to our community and ourselves to really consider succession plans. Who am I grooming? Who am I molding? So if I'm not here, or I move, or something changes in life, I'm not able to do what I'm able to do, this can continue to be a benefit and a blessing.
This person can step in.
Exactly. And honestly, for example, take strictly to that for me.
Yes.
He was over the MLK Leadership Awards luncheon for many, many years.
Trailblazer.
So I would sit under him, and we would just talk about life most times. Then we'd talk a little bit about the luncheon, but he gave me the ropes of ours. Here's what you do. Here's who you contact. Here's how you sell the tables. Here's how you do this. And I still use the same formula.
Really?
Same process. And thanks to Tank, God rest his soul, it never fails. And honestly, God is in the mix, obviously, because it's something that's a purpose. But
he brings
having that
vessels in
fellowship,
our life
right,
to help us execute the plan.
That's exactly right.
That type thing. So let me ask you about collaboration. Can you give an example of a time when you collaborated with someone that you felt like it was a must? We needed to collaborate for the greater good. Can you think of anything?
Yeah, I should think of a couple of things. I have to go back to the work I was able to do under Mayor O'Hara, and working with Abbas Reed and Tasha Harris and Bishop Kevin Perry. We collaborated as a team and a unit to help the city of Knoxville when it comes to, they with Tasha and Kevin with the Save Our Sons initiative under Mayor O'Hara's leadership, my work with Park, and it all flowed together because the bottom line was it was communities that were hurting, and we still have communities hurting, but it's more than just one button. It can be food disparities. It can be wages and employment. It can be access to transportation. So we were able to collaborate. Still was not the end all be all, but make impacts in the community. To say
but
that
you
if
made a difference.
And also show others if we come together,
a
lot can be done.
You have to.
So I think that's one example.
And you don't have to be from the same walks of life to come together. I think more you need to understand and listen more. If you just listen and try your best to humble your heart to understand where they're coming from, hopefully they'll understand where you're coming from, and you can come together to collaborate for the greater good.
Right.
Do you agree with that statement?
I agree with that 100%.
What role does the community at the University of Tennessee play in the building bridges and creating access? What do you think that brings the university and the School of Business together?
I think a lot of it is through a couple of things. So our pre-collegiate programs, we have summer programs where we have high school students from, it used to be just in the state, now we have them all over the country. They're here in the summer for residential programs. They stay on campus, they get to experience what it's like to be a student. And honestly, I'm not making this up, but it's life-changing for these students. Just the feedback we get from the parents. They say, my student has changed since they've been with you only for 10 days for some programs, 6 days for others. So I think it starts at the root. And we talk about being a good steward and also being a good community stakeholder in a sense.
Yes.
We are community stakeholders because we're looking at our future leaders as well, how we can invest in them. These are free programs. We offer 4 programs each summer, the month of June and July.
Okay.
And they get a chance to meet with faculty, see the city of Knoxville, those maybe from Memphis, Nashville. Majority are from Tennessee, but Memphis, Nashville, Chattanooga, different places. And we invest in them the investment in return is to come to the University of Tennessee,
Right.
And hopefully aspire to get a degree in business. And then if in our office there's a wall, we have pictures. Started, of course, by Dr. Small early on with the programs. Now we've shown those programs, and they can go back and see themselves 10, 15, 20 years ago. Well, 15 and 16 haven't been 20 years yet.
Right.
And that to me, I think, is a key investment because, you put your money where your mouth is. And our money is going towards not only money, but money in a sense of resources and investment of time, collateral into the future. And the future, I think, is definitely our young people, even starting from middle schoolers. We have middle school programs. So starting there, I think we are definitely a great community stakeholder to help support community initiatives because we're looking at the most important and also all important, but you think about our young people, they're going to be the ones doing these roles when it's 20, 30 years from now. Right? And it's our time to either retire and go to the beach or go back to Miami, back to Miami Beach again. We hang out again down in Brown County. So we have to put that investment. So I think we do it there. We do it in many other ways. We support, of course, like I said, MLK Commission. We now do the luncheon here on campus at the Student Union.
Amazing.
So having that, you have over almost 600 plus people come into fellowship where in many cases and years ago, people didn't feel comfortable coming to the University. They didn't feel like it was their university.
That's true.
And I think even through our leadership from campus-wide and also academic colleges and the people we have on campus now, it's open doors to everyone to feel like this campus is for them and they belong here as well.
Well, I can honestly say that I was honored for y'all to give me Business Woman of the Year. That just really, of all the things that I have been honored to get, that stuck out more than anything because Martin Luther King, all that he's done, his legacy, and then all that the commission has done for the community. That to me was like, wow, they really see me, so I want to thank you for even considering me, because when I got the nomination, I was like, you know what, God, have your way. If I get it, great. If I don't. And so when I found out I was accepted, I was like, that was like, one of those moments.
A big kudos to people like Chairwoman Deborah Porter.
Yes.
Many others, of course, Reverend Renee Kessler, who served before myself. I served this past year as well. And many, many others that served in the road. Reverend Middlebrook, who was a founder of the commission.
He's naming some great people.
So these people were and still invested.
And
still working. Still working.
They
All
do.
of you are still working.
So tell me with your faith, how is your faith through leadership, your leadership journey? How can you say, well, this is how my faith is intertwined with my leadership?
A couple of things. I think for me is that I always say it's bigger than just myself. I don't get caught up in titles. That's not who I am. I wasn't raised to be that way. But I'm charged to do a work. And I believe that the work that I'm doing, no matter what the work is that it's God-driven and it's for a reason. And everything happens in divine intervention. So that leads me as a leader to make sure that, one, I'm compassionate, but also stick to the fact that we have a job to do. We have work to accomplish to get done. You can be compassionate, so people go, we can just roll over this person. Like, no, hold on. Compassionate, but also we have to be driven on what our goals are, what we have to get done. Another thing, too, is that it's okay. We make mistakes.
Yes.
We all fail. I'm speaking for myself. But what do you learn from that, right? Do you continue to make the same mistake, or do you learn from, oh, wow, I can do it different this time. Now I can have more impact. So I use different things that I may have as learning lessons, but also knowing that the end goal is, what impact am I making? Am I in line with where I believe God has called me to be, both, personally, professionally, spiritually? Because I believe personally it all intertwines. Because if one is falling, it affects the other. So I believe it all intertwines.
So how is your role at the business school? How has it made an impact on your life?
It's impacted me greatly. Honestly, with our dean's group that we have here, our leadership here at the university, our faculty and staff within the college, our students, but more importantly for namesake, the Haslam family. I mean, who more philanthropic, who more a servant leader, and truly give back to the community, not with just words, but also just by being actively involved. I mean, Mr. Haslam himself is greatly involved in many things, even having a chance for our students to have luncheons with him to support being scholarship recipients. So I would say it impacted me a lot to show me that, again, like I'll say this again, it's bigger than me. What are you doing to make an impact to those in your community? What are you leaving? What legacy are you leaving behind? It doesn't define your legacy, but what legacy are you leaving behind for others to learn from, use as an example. So I think the Haslam family has definitely created a legacy that's continuing to flow in different families, community, but they've definitely started a legacy here in this community with this college. And more importantly, the work that I get to do here, it makes an impact because I'm able to help others. I'm able to help my own family. I had 2 nephews in my summer program,
really?
And now they're going to college and doing great things. So that helps me tremendously because I'm able to give back right to my own immediate family, but also students that I see in the community. So it's definitely been a big role, but for me, it's still bigger than that. When in a sense we talk about, like I said again, I'm a God-fearing man, so I know that God opens doors for a reason. So I want to make sure I'm a good steward in this role while I'm here at this time. And being a good steward is making sure that we follow the footsteps of, like I said, those like the Haslam family, the leadership we have here, the faculty, staff, our dean's group, who truly are volunteers to the core and also servant leaders.
And I think that they've made plans for so many years to come. The Haslam family, they give so much. And I'm not talking about just in money, I'm just talking about their time. You know, I spoke off camera about our first our orientation for Leadership Knoxville. Mr. Haslam came and his wife and him just shared, he just stopped in the middle of it and was like, okay, you know, yes, I started Leadership Knoxville, but let me tell you what my wife started and what she taught him in just leadership and how to be a servant leader in a different way and how to be hands-on even more. And it was just a great speech, and I left inspired because I'm like, he's in his 90s and he is still giving back. He's still doing things, you know, to make this community better. Do you have a favorite scripture that you lean on?
Not so much a scripture. Every night, and since I've been, actually I was saved when I was 5 years old.
Really?
5 years old.
Okay.
Watching TVN with my mother in the living room and gave my life to Christ. And from that point was a prayer warrior at 6 for my church. But I say that to say every night, I believe in prayer. But every night,
I do too.
Since I've been that age, I've always said the Lord's Prayer. You know, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. And I said that with my kids, and now they know it verbatim. So I think for me, that constantly, one, it resets my day.
It does.
Because what we do here on earth is impacted in heaven, as God would like it to be. But also, we're called to be witnesses.
We are.
We're called to be witnesses. We also called to be a living example of God working through us. So I believe in that
and we're supposed to be the walk, not the talk.
And we still fall short.
Yeah, we do.
We fall short, but I think...
And God said we were going to fall short.
Yes. No, so to me, not so much a scripture, but that's a repetition. Also, I want to start in my family's life. And that my daughters now do every night before they go to bed. They say their prayers, we sing a song, and then kiss them good night. And they 2 songs. One is This Little Light of Mine, because Zaya's name means light. And Jada was saying is, Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary is her song.
So can you tell me something that's behind the scenes that God has done for you that you're like, God, you didn't forget me?
Oh, we can
there's probably many.
But
I mean, is there something that you could say? You know?
I would say one in relation to what we're discussing. So I remember I was terminated from a role here in town. And, you know, new baby, first baby was here. And we you know, God's always provided, so we never really struggled. But I was like, whoa, time is it's 6 months now.
Right.
And I remember calling everybody I thought I should call and doing everything I thought I should do. And my devotion is music. I love old gospel music, like John P. Key, Reverend James Cleveland, Shirley Caesar. You know, I love the old gospel. That's kind of my thing. So I had music playing. And at one point, I just stopped. And I went to my deck. I lifted my hands up. I looked up. I said, God, it's out of my control. I give it to you. And that was on a Saturday night. That Monday, I had 6 job offers.
Really?
That Monday. And that still gives me chills.
People don't understand prayer. And Adrian laughed at me. She says, Mom, when you pray, she said, your prayers are faster than Amazon Prime. And I'm like, stop saying that. It's not Amazon Prime. But I just believe in prayer, and I love talking to God and just telling him how I feel. You know, I talk to him like I'm talking to you. God, this is not a good day, or God, this is a good day, but it could be better. Tell me what do I need to do to make that day better? You know, that type thing. And who can I help and put a smile on their face, that type thing. And I can imagine, you know, losing a job and then you having a family and young children and you're feeling like, okay, I've let them down, that type thing. You know, but you seek God. Yeah. And so. I mean, I
felt I threw up. I said, I give up. It's out of my
control.
Sometimes
you just got to surrender and say, God, you know what? Have your way. Have your way. So what is next? The last question is, what is next for Clarence Vaughn? And what's the next thing that you say at the school? We're going to do this and we're going to make it shine.
I would say the next thing is continue to be a light for those in darkness. Like I was saying earlier, one song that was played at my father's funeral was a lily in the valley. And then somebody called him a lily in the valley because he caught people in their darkest moments. People who were just going through difficulties in life or in their lightest moment and being a light that shines. So I think my goal is God allow me to continue to be the light that shines, provide opportunities to our students, faculty, staff, community, be advocate in spaces where I need to advocate for others, and also shed light on things that may be troublesome or difficult for communities, and speak on that. When you're in spaces and give an opportunity to meet, you have to speak on that and share that and bring truth to light. So I think that's what we're planning to continue to do. As far as who knows what the future holds. Again, I have three kids. I got an elementary school, a middle school age, and a high school age. So my goal, of course, is to make sure I get them prepared to continue to transition through the academic side of life and continue just love life, love others, and continue the work that God called me to do until it's the next phase in life. So we'll see what that may be. I'm not sure. Hope it's no time soon. I'm here for a little bit longer than that.
Love the abundance that's over you. I'll tell you this, that your spirit, you can tell you love the Lord, and you can tell that you want to make a difference. You know what it was like when you were failing at something and you knew 86% of the time you didn't show up. And the biggest thing I would say at the end of this is show up for yourself. At the end of the day, nobody can show up for you like you can show up for yourself. I thank you for sitting down with me. The door is always open. I would love to have you on a panel discussion. This is Clarence Vaughn. Bye, guys.
Thanks for listening to Talkin' Tennessee with Yavanka. Watch out for our weekly episodes from the First Family of Real Estate, and check us out on the web, www.yavankasalesrealestate.com. See our videos on Yavanka's YouTube channel, or find us on Facebook under Yavanka Landis, and Twitter @Yavanka Landis. And don't forget to tell a friend about us. Until next time, Yavanka signing off.